Hey everyone, Kevin Richards here, rockthestagenyc.com and RPM Vocal Studio back at the keyboard. What I want to do is I want to show you what is pulling chest. I hear this a lot. Pulling chest is actually very easy to explain. Pulling chest is when a singer takes the resonance blends down here, which are bass frequencies, and they try to pull them or hold on to them as they blend towards their middle and upper middle range. Down here, in terms of resonance, you got frequencies happening more around the 160, 50, 200 cycle range in terms of frequency range. I know this is going to get confusing, but basically all the bass frequencies are really dominant down here. And what they do is they try to hold on to that thickness as they sing towards the middle range. Now in the middle here, towards middle C, it's more middle range frequencies that are more dominant in the sound. More resonance, more middle range resonance. More around 700, 1000, 3000 K in terms of frequency. And they basically, what they're doing is they're trying to take the resonance or the bass frequencies of here and trying to apply them up here. And that just can't happen. They're two different areas of resonance. There's two different dominant resonances that need to happen. Here's an example of that. If I go up, it's a very bassy sound. If I try to hold on to that as I go up, that's what happens. Because those frequencies only live down here. This is their neighborhood. This is where they live. This is another area of the voice. It's another neighborhood. These guys can't live over here. Only a little bit of them, not all of them. What happens is people try to take all of these resonances and try to move them up here. You can't do that. It's a totally different neighborhood, but two different sets of resonances happen here. And as you go up, the resonances change again. And, oh, wait, come with me over here. We're going to walk over here. I'm going to show you this on a graphic EQ. Okay, here, let me get these even. And I'll show you what this is here on a graphic EQ. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take the wide angle off here. Okay, there. Now, as you can see there's a 63, 125, 255, 101K. When I was singing those lower ranges, these were the dominant frequencies in that range. What happens is people try to hold on to these as they sing higher. Now as you sing towards middle C, the dominant resonances are more here, because these are middle frequencies. These guys can't live up here. These guys live up here. And that's what pulling chest is. You need to let these guys drop off and allow these guys to take over the sound. And as you sing past middle C, these guys start to take over. And these frequencies start to drop away even more. That's why head voice doesn't have a very bassy sound to it, because these frequencies basically drop out of the voice. And these become the more prominent resonances, or the prominent frequencies. That's what pulling chest is. Let's go back over to the piano. So as we head on back over here, and that's essentially what I'm saying. When you get to middle C, these are those middle frequencies I'll talk about. The 500, 1K, 3K, 700K, somewhere around there. That's where these guys live. Those bass frequencies at 6, 125, and 200, 300, they live down here. They can't live over in this neighborhood. They're not allowed to move, right? These guys live in this neighborhood. And as you sing up higher, then you get the 5, 6, 10, 12K up in this area, the very high end of the human frequency range, towards 20K. Low bass frequency is 20, and up here is 20,000 in terms of the human hearing range. So that's essentially what pulling chest is. Now mixed voice is literally just you're mixing different various amounts of these. Basically your voice is a mix all the time. When I sing a low note, let's say this F down here. Actually no, I'll go about the C down here. that has this note, and this note, and a little bit of that note in it. And these are upper harmonics, or they call formants or upper partials, things like that, overtones, basically. And this middle note here and this upper note there, the middle C and the high note, is what gives this low note its clarity. If I didn't have like this up here in the sound, this would be, it would sound very dull. These upper frequencies here give that voice that clarity. So basically your voice is mixing all of these at the same time. It's just as you sing, the various amounts of which ones are more dominant in the sound change as you sing up and down in your range. When you're singing lower notes, these bass frequencies down here are more dominant in the sound. They're what you hear mostly. As you sing towards the middle of your range, these middle frequencies become more dominant. As you sing up in the highs, these high notes become more dominant in the sound. There's still a little bit of the middle, very little of the bass in there. Still a lot of the middle, and most of the upper frequencies are in there. And that's why the sound thins as you get up. Basically, the bass frequencies roll off, and mid and uppers take over. That is what mixed voice is. Head voice is really just when all the bass frequencies have dropped out and you're just singing up really high, and you hear basically just all these upper mids and upper highs. That's what head voice is. And chest voice, per se, is basically a mix of all of these all at the same time. These are the ones you hear more of because they're bigger, fatter, and they're more dominant in the sound. Now, I hope I didn't confuse anybody by talking about all these frequencies and stuff like that, but in terms of resonance, the bassier or in my throat resonance is more dominant. My mouth resonance is more dominant in this sound, and the sinus cavity or the upper frequencies are more dominant in that sound. You really don't hear the bass anymore. So that's what mixed voice is, and that's what head voice is, and that's what pulling chest is. So don't do that pulling chest thing. So I hope this clears confusion. I was able to basically explain all this in 10 minutes when two other vocal coaches tried to explain all this, and they took nearly an hour. So until next time, this is Kevin Richards, Rock the Stage NYC here on YouTube and rpmvocalstudio.com on the web for voice lessons worldwide. Check out the links below for voice lessons, my vocal courses, lessons with me, all that kind of stuff. And we can delve more into this. Because this is really the secret of how to sing correctly, is knowing your resonance blends. It's not about registers or registrations or modes or connecting and switching and flipping and all that. It's about resonance blends. So till next time, Kevin Richards. See ya.